Welcome back. Last time we explored the Pomerium, Rome's sacred boundary. Crossing that invisible line meant death. No soldier, no general, no army could enter the city with legal authority. It was the Republic's ultimate safeguard against military tyranny. But there was one exception, a single, spectacular, and terrifying day when the rule was not just broken, but celebrated. When an army could march into the heart of Rome, and its general could be dressed as a king and painted like a god. This is the story of the Roman triumph, the greatest honor the Republic could bestow, and one of the darkest rituals it ever performed. So what was a triumph? In simple terms, it was an enormous, state-sanctioned parade where a victorious general and his army were granted permission to cross the Pomerium and enter Rome for one day only. But this was no simple celebration. It was a meticulously staged drama of power, religion, and propaganda, governed by a strict and rarely satisfied set of rules. First, the general had to have expanded Roman territory by conquering new lands. Second, his soldiers had to hail him as imperator, one who commands. This is where our word emperor comes from. Third, bearing that title, he had to return to Rome and formally request that the Senate meet him outside the Pomerium, where he still held command. Fourth, before that exiled Senate, he would present his case and humbly ask for the right to triumph. Fifth, the Senate voted. Sixth, if they agreed, the popular assembly had to consent. Only then was the stage set. For one day, the general was no longer a citizen. He was something else entirely. The process was designed to fail. Many conquerors never became imperator. Many imperatores never got their Senate hearing. This was by design. The triumph was meant to be rare, making it the ultimate political prize. We see this play out brutally with Julius Caesar. After conquering Spain in 60 BCE, he was hailed imperator and returned to Rome for his triumph. But his enemy, Cato, controlled the Senate. Cato stalled. He delayed the meeting until after the consular elections, knowing that if Caesar entered the city for his triumph, he'd have to surrender his command and miss the race for consul. Caesar faced an impossible choice: the glory of a triumph or the power of the consulship. He chose power. He crossed the Pomerium, gave up his command and title, registered as a candidate, and won. He never forgot that stolen triumph, and he would in time take his revenge. But for the general who cleared every hurdle, the real spectacle began. Let's see it through the eyes of a Roman in the crowd. The city would shut down. The triumphal route was packed. The procession had 3 acts. Act 1, the conquest. Wagons rolled by carrying massive paintings and models of the new exotic lands, mountains, rivers, strange cities. Then came the spoils: coins, jewels, silks, sacred objects hauled from foreign temples, and finally the prisoners, enemy soldiers, nobles, and sometimes a captured king in chains. The message was simple: see what we took, see who we beat. Act 2, the God King. Then came the main event, the triumphator. He did not look like a Roman. He rode a golden chariot pulled by 4 white horses. His toga was not white, but solid purple, the color of kings, which any other Roman would be shamed for wearing. His face was painted bright red, like the statue of Jupiter on the Capitoline Hill. In one hand he held an ivory scepter, in the other a laurel branch. A slave may have ridden behind him, whispering in his ear, "Remember, you are only mortal." He was playing the part of a king, dressed as a god, because only a god could legally cross the Pomerium with an army. Act 3, the army unleashed. Behind him came his soldiers, the men who had hailed him imperator. Discipline was loose. They sang crude, satirical songs about their general for the crowd's amusement. We have the words to one sung for Caesar: "Romans, lock up your wives, the bald adulterer's back. We blew your gold in Gaul on whores, and now we're here for more." This ritual mockery was expected, a momentary pressure valve in a society built on rigid order. Now let's walk the path of the triumphator himself. Before dawn, the whole procession assembled outside the Pomerium on the Campus Margus. The general mounted his chariot and the long march began. They entered the city through a special gate, the same gate where Pompey once famously got his chariot stuck trying to enter with elephants. The route was a sacred circuit. It wound through the roaring Circus Maximus, past the palaces of the rich on the Via Sacra, heading toward one final destination, the Temple of Jupiter Optimus Maximus on the Capitoline Hill. This is where the triumph revealed its dark heart. Remember the prisoners from Act 1? When the procession reached the temple, many of them were taken aside and publicly strangled before the cheering crowd. This was not just an execution, it had the chilling feel of a human sacrifice offered at the foot of Rome's most important temple. Many captives, knowing their fate, chose suicide over this ritualized death. After the killing, the triumphator climbed the temple steps. There, with Rome's high priests, he sacrificed 2 white bulls to Jupiter. The blood of the bulls mixed in the Roman mind with the blood of the fallen enemies. The god was satisfied. The state was justified. That night, the city feasted. The general hosted a lavish banquet. He was the most famous man in Rome. But at sunrise the next day, the magic ended. The special dispensation expired. If he lived inside the pomerium, as most elites did, he woke up a private citizen again. His absolute military authority vanished the moment he stepped outside his door. The triumph was the Republic's ultimate reward. But as Rome fell under the control of emperors, the ceremony faded. It became unacceptable for anyone but the emperor or his family to be so glorified. The ritual that once celebrated competitive merit within the system became a symbol of its decay. The triumph was more than a parade. It was a controlled explosion. For one day, Rome suspended its core rule, separating the army from the state to celebrate the very violence that rule was meant to contain. It was the spectacular exception that proved the deadly serious rule. And with that, we've seen the pinnacle of Republican ambition. Thanks for watching.